Welcome back. Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call on the Bordis and Bordis Hotline. Bob Pompeani and Gene Collier. We're going back to the lines right now, and we're going to switch it up a little bit with Pat in Denora. Hello, Pat.
I've got a question. How are the Steelers going to go to New England? Because we'll beat Jacksonville, but how are we going to go to New England and the defense always plays that prevent stuff and never man-to-man? So how are we going to stop?
Well, they're going to have to put pressure on Brady and do it the way a lot of teams, make sure that you have. And by the way, to that end, we saw a potential injury today to Artie Burns, who left practice early. So Joe Hayden is back. They need guys like that to clamp down on the outside and just get pressure up the middle. That's the only way I see. You're looking ahead to that game, by the way. There is a game against Jacksonville. I know that. But, seriously, if Brady can't move, he will not leave the pocket. And if he does, he crumbles like a house of cards.
I agree with that. I think the Steelers can beat the Patriots. I'm not sure they can beat the Jaguars.
You keep saying that. I'm going to be interested to see how this works out. All right, let's go out to Marilyn in Munhall. Hey, Marilyn, how are you?
Hi, good night. Nice to talk to both you gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering about the hiatus this week that the hockey players took for 5 days. Is this to help rejuvenate and the teams and have hard practices, or do you think there's a possibility that they might become stale?
No. Every team gets it, Maryland. They all have a mandated 5-day bye week, and it's every team has different weeks. It's just designed, Players Association wants some time for guys to, rest a little bit in the course of a long season. It is a long season, Gene, and it goes on for 6 months. And if you're lucky enough to be going on into June playing for a Stanley Cup, it really takes a toll. So I have no problem. Will they be rusty?
I don't think the players much care about that. I think they're willing to take their chances on how they're going to play when they come back. They just want the time off.
Hempfield is our next destination. Jerry, go ahead.
I'll just make a comment with the Pirates. Like you're talking about Cole, McCutcheon, and Harrison, okay? Mm-hmm. Let's just say that these guys were really playing very well the last 2 or 3 years, okay? And they added another player, and they knew that they could go to the World Series. I believe that the Pirate organization would forego the World Series to get rid of them to save money. Now, if those players would take a significant pay cut,
well,
they would say, "Oh, we'd love to have them. We're really going somewhere."
They're not going to take
really,
pay
it's
cuts.
all about money. That's it.
Well, listen. I could argue that if they add to what they have right now, they can be competitive. I don't know how competitive, but you should always try, right? Why sell tickets if you can't try? If you're saying 219 is your next year.
The Pirates, as constituted, have, the semblance of a rotation. They have a great bullpen hammer, and they still have a core of talented players. They could, as Jim Leland used to like to say, catch lightning in a bottle. They could win a division if everything went right for them. But if they trade any of those components that the caller mentioned, they just simply won't.
Line 3, before we go to break, Dave in Whitehall is on the sports call. Hey, Dave.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
First off, go Steelers. Second off, we're supposed to have this great farm system for the Pirates. Why don't we see these people coming up?
Well, they have some here. Josh Bell made a nice transition quickly to play first base. I thought that. But aside from him, there's not all that much down there. That's my point about all the drafting over the years, Gene. You have Marte, you have Polanco. Those were different acquisitions that, not through draft necessarily. So, what has the draft really produced?
Well, Tyone.
Tyone, Glasnow, but then again, we don't know what Glasnow really is.
The Pirates' problem isn't their farm system, I don't think. It's that they have the inability to acquire talent any other way.
Yeah. We're due for break.